Welcome to one of the greatest chess games of all time, the legendary clash between Garry Kasparov and Vasilin Topalov at the Hugovins tournament in 1999. This game is renowned for its stunning sacrifices, breathtaking tactics, and relentless attacking play by Kasparov. Let's dive into the action. Kasparov begins with the king's pawn, staking claim to the center. Topalov responds with the Perk defense, a hypermodern opening that allows white to build a strong center while black prepares to undermine it later. Kasparov builds his ideal pawn duo in the center while black develops the knight to attack the e4 pawn. As Kasparov develops his knight to support the center, Topalov fianchettos his bishop, preparing to challenge the center indirectly. Kasparov plays an aggressive move, developing his bishop to support the d4 pawn while eyeing potential kingside play. Topalov calmly continues with his own plans, completing the fianchetto. Kasparov signals his intentions by bringing his queen to d2, planning to castle queenside and launch an attack on the kingside. Topalov challenges white's structure by advancing the c-pawn, preparing counterplay on the queenside. Kasparov reinforces his center with a pawn move, preparing for a kingside pawn storm. Black strikes first on the queenside by pushing b5, aiming to expand and create counterplay. White develops his knight cautiously, keeping options open, while black develops his other knight, focusing on central control. Kasparov plays an ambitious move by placing his bishop on h6, offering to exchange bishops to weaken black's kingside. Topalov accepts the trade, and after the queen recaptures on h6, white's queen becomes active and poised for action. Black develops his light squared bishop to b7, keeping an eye on the long diagonal. Kasparov expands on the queenside with a 3, preparing to advance his pawns. Topalov strikes in the center with e5, challenging white's central dominance. Kasparov commits to his plan by castling queenside, preparing to attack on the kingside. Black places his queen on e7, centralizing and preparing to connect the rooks. Kasparov tucks his king to b1, a typical safety move in opposite side castling situations. Black advances on the queen side with a 6, planning to push b4. Kasparov brings his knight to b3, eyeing potential pressure on black's queenside structure. Black castles queenside, and the game is now set for an explosive middle game. White's knight jumps to b3, increasing queenside pressure, while black opens the center with an exchange x4. Kasparov recaptures with the rook, maintaining his control. Topalov immediately challenges the rook by advancing his c-pawn, gaining space and tempo. The rook retreats to d1, and black brings the knight to b6, aiming for c4. Kasparov begins his kingside assault with a pawn push to g3, preparing for h4-h5. Black tucks his king further into safety on b8. Kasparov plays a brilliant move, bringing his knight to a5, creating pressure on b7. Topalov retreats his bishop to a8, keeping the diagonal open for defense. Kasparov develops his bishop aggressively to h3, applying more pressure. Black strikes back in the center with d5, trying to counter white's threats. Kasparov activates his queen with a check on f4, forcing black's king to a7. The rook swings to the e-file, bringing more pressure to bear on black's position. Topalov pushes d4, creating a dangerous passed pawn but leaving his king vulnerable. Kasparov sacrifices his knight with a stunning n5, forcing black to capture. After x5, Kasparov opens the position further by sacrificing the exchange with rxd4. Black recaptures with the pawn, and Kasparov follows with a powerful rook lift to e7, threatening devastating penetration. Black's king is forced into the open after qxd4 plus and Kra5, and Kasparov unleashes the brilliant pawn push b4 plus, dragging the king further out. Topalov retreats, but white's pieces are fully mobilized. Kasparov follows up with qc3, threatening mate. Black sacrifices his queen to stave off immediate disaster, but Kasparov's attack is relentless. The rook invades the 7th rank, and white captures black's remaining queenside pawns. Black's king is left exposed in the center of the board as Kasparov's pieces swarm around it. With precise coordination of his queen, rook, and pawns, Kasparov forces the Black King into a hopeless position. The game ends with Kasparov delivering the decisive blow, pushing his pawns and coordinating his pieces to perfection. Topalov resigns as mate is inevitable, capping off one of the greatest attacking masterpieces in chess history. This game is nothing short of a work of art. Kasparov's ability to sacrifice material for the initiative and relentlessly attack the exposed Black King is a testament to his genius. Topalov defended valiantly, but Kasparov's precise calculation and creativity was simply unstoppable. This is a game that will be remembered forever as a shining example of the beauty of chess.